Good evening and welcome back. Tonight we are playing Finnish Cottage Simulator. I've taken the liberty of making my character here. I thought that a mud brown sweater would really fit the look of our car here. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I believe this game is supposed to be a very relaxing experience where you step into the shoes of a Finnish man enjoying their summer. Now, I may not be Finnish, but it is summer, so I thought this game is just what we need right now. After a long career, Seppo has finally retired. To celebrate this, he goes to his cottage all alone. We're greeted by some traditional Finnish music, but I'll go ahead and skip this just so we can get straight into the meat and potatoes, so to speak. This here is our cottage. I'm not sure how much freedom will be given here. As in, can we do whatever we want, or are there any goals here? So we do have some wheat soda, so to speak. The key bindings here are quite interesting. So it says 1, but I actually have to press some keys. I'm sure I'll figure it out in due time. We have some logs here. And as far as I know, we can actually strip them so it's easier to light fires. And of course, we can chop them up. So we'll see just how responsive the axe here is. Let's go for a smack here. Maybe I just didn't swing hard enough. Let's give it another scout's honest attempt. There we are. Just really go all in. Not quite. We'll get the hang of it, I'm sure. Let's leave our axe here for the time being and explore the area. We've got some darts here. A crafting bench, which is very interesting, though we'll need to find more recipes. And we even have a bike of sorts. Or maybe this is closer to a moped. So let's see how this baby handles. It doesn't seem like it wants to be driven. That's fine by us. I suppose we'll get started on finding the key to the actual house. Shouldn't be too far. There it is. I hear some very nasty wasps in here too. An entire nest. We're not gonna interact with them too much. And this here is our Finnish cottage. We have some bug spray, which will come in handy. Let's go ahead and see how well it works against wasps. Start spraying on them. Doesn't seem to be working. Unfortunately, that was all the bug spray we had. It's actually ran out. We do have some fine looking ketchup here. Don't mind if I indulge. Or maybe not. Now then, we've explored enough. I feel like now's the time to bring all our stuff in. We wouldn't want to leave our crates all the way here. They would spoil in the sun. So I'll take the liberty of restocking our little fridge here. We had just enough space. Should be enough for the second crate too. So we'll go ahead and carry our second crate and put it in the fridge. There we are. Perfect. And I'll slot the ketchup back in here. Who knows when we'll need it. Just kind of throw it in there. Didn't mean to pick that up. Let's try to put this back in very gently now. So what I tried to do was take a singular bottle out, but that doesn't seem to be an option. We're not worried about that though. It's fine as is. Let's study the tools we have here. So this is lighter fluid. This I'm not quite sure. Is it a spray bottle? It is. Though it also isn't working as intended. And I believe this is the motor for a boat. And we have a boat. Going out fishing sounds exciting. Though I do want to deal with these wasps. I don't like how many of them there are here. They're very aggressive too. Can we cut this up with a knife? No, not quite. Let's see if we can get a little homemade flamethrower going. I believe we had a lighter here somewhere. What's this? Dry yeast and sugar. Some filters and all sorts of stuff. Very interesting haul we have in our drawer. So the yeast and sugar is probably for moonshine, which we'll be able to make. But what we need now is a way to deal with the wasps. Now I assumed that the old lighter trick with a spray bottle would do the trick, but we seem to be missing a lighter. Let's see if we can find one. We do have an upstairs section too. Again, I'm not sure how helpful this flamethrower idea will be, but it doesn't hurt to try. Could there be a lighter in any of these drawers? Unfortunately, no. Let's see if our character here can take a fall from this height, and fortunately, they could. So we don't have a working lighter. Might as well put this idea on ice. In that case, let's indulge, so to speak. So there is an animation of the liquid flowing down the bottle. I do like that. Let's throw this at the wasps. The best idea we've had so far, I would say. Let me fiddle around with the keys, find the one that lets us throw. Didn't quite get it. How about we try setting them on fire? We'll light our match. Throw it at them, maybe? doesn't quite work. And it seems we've perished. I wasn't expecting that to be a mechanic in the game, but they punished us for our foolish idea. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what I expected to happen. Maybe we brought something, an actual mosquito. That sound actually surprised me. Maybe we brought something that could help us. I'm mostly seeing food. Maybe a cookout to relax and think of our next step is what we need here. All we need to do is find a functioning grill, which I do see right here. Put the sausages here. And let's bring out this bad boy. Just very carefully set it down. Try not to drop it. Won't need the pan, of course. Getting some firewood going is certainly useful. We've succeeded in breaking up a log, chopping it up. And now maybe a bit too late to say this, but I don't think we need a log. We just need the bark. It's the only thing that would fit here. Let's see where we left our matches. Let's get all of these sausages out. Put them on the grill. And we'll either go for lighter fluid or maybe just some matches will do the trick here. Our sausages are ready. Let's see if our matches are anywhere here. They're in a dangerous spot, but I think that was a big mistake. No worries though. We'll get up and try to hit the proper key this time. That was just poor luck. A minor setback. I see the matches. We've successfully retrieved our matches from the wasps. And now, let's see if we can figure out how to use this grill here. I've actually never had one of those. So let's light our bark. If any barbecue experts are watching, I'm sure this might look ridiculous. So that didn't really work. Maybe we were just doing it wrong. Let's really press it against the bark. That also didn't seem to work. Maybe we just need more bark and some lighter fluid. Let's get started on that. We'll rip off as much bark as we can get here. And just kind of set it down right here. Now, of course, we don't have too much space to work with, but I'm sure we'll get something going here soon enough. There we go. 2 pieces of bark is already much better. And 3 is perfect. I feel like that's exactly how many we'll need. Now then, lighter fluid is our next step here. Let's make sure that we are fueled up and ready for whatever task lies ahead. Just down the entire can. That cannot be healthy for you. Please never do what my foolish character here is doing. We did get a little sidetracked, but back to business. We need lighter fluid. So this is the moonshine kit, not what we need. Maybe there's a store or some place we need to go to find some lighter fluid. That seems reasonable. We do have an entire moped that presumably can be used. I guess we'll just have to go ahead and see. This isn't lighter fluid, is it? I don't believe so. In that case, we'll leave it. Let's give the matches another attempt. Maybe I was just doing it wrong. We just need one of these pieces to catch fire, and we'll be set. I think we were getting close to something there. Give it a couple swishes. And this match doesn't seem to work. Let's grab a new one then. Give it a few swishes. Very unsatisfying mosquito noises right there. All we need is one of them to catch fire. Any time now? No, not quite. Alright then. Let's go for a drive. Oh, what's this? Could it be lighter fluid? Couldn't really tell what the writing said. No, it's spray. The paint kind. Let's see if we can poison the wasps here with some paint. No, that doesn't seem to work. It was worth a shot. Now this here is engine oil, not what we need. But this bag looks promising. Barbecue Queen. Could this be coal? We need something to open the bag with, and we'll go for the easiest option here, the brute force approach. Though that doesn't quite work. Alright, the bag is beyond our reach for now. There doesn't seem to be a way to open it. Unlucky for us. Is there anything in this toolbox that could help? Not quite, it's just fishing gear. Nothing in the bucket either. So we seem to be at a difficult junction of the journey. We have a bag of coal that we cannot open, and sausages that we cannot cook. This will help us soldier through our predicament. Wonder if the glass breaks. No, it's very high quality glass. Let's get this furnace going. So many bugs in here. Good thing we have bug spray. Oh, never mind. It's empty. Let's go ahead and grab our matches. believe I left them somewhere on the floor here. Or maybe not. Where did we leave our matches? It's one problem after the next here. How about we put that idea on ice and see if we can catch some fish here? We'll need bait. Though we don't really have anything to use as bait. Let's see if we can figure out... Oh, we do have bait. That's good. So our fishing rod is ready. Let's try to catch some fish here. I doubt anything will come to shore, but never hurts to try. Let's start casting. There we go. And now we just wait. Our bait may not be good, but we are an experienced fisher. I'm sure we can catch something worth eating. It's really, fishing is about patience. Fishing is all about playing the waiting game. Although we may need to cast our line a little bit deeper into the pond or lake, a bit deeper than we did. So if we don't have any fish coming to us within a few more seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and cast it again. Let's get this back to us. And I want to get off this chair, which is proving surprisingly difficult. Let's get a good angle on this. Clearly we're doing something wrong here. There we are. I think that's a little bit deeper than last time. See if that works. The atmosphere is very peaceful, very relaxing. I'm actually surprised there's not more bug noises. As you all might know, mosquitoes, they tend to lay their eggs on the surfaces of water. So any place with still water is a breeding ground for all sorts of bugs. Fortunately though, that doesn't seem to be the case here, which is good for us. Maybe using the boat is a smarter option here. Or maybe I'm just not being patient enough. Once again, fishing is a patient man's hobby. I think we had something there. Probably wrong though. Yeah. Let's see if we can get the boat working. That would solve many of our issues here. Don't even need the motor, as long as this thing can swim. Let's give it a couple pushes. Just inch it closer to the water, little by little. The controls are really fighting against me here, but we're slowly getting there. One critique I'll point out once again is how clunky the controls can be. But we've almost succeeded in touching water with our boat. There we go. Let's drop our rod into here. Or maybe we can sit down with it in hand just so we don't lose it. Would that be possible? So that's how we turn the boat, by continuously pushing it. We're close, I can tell. I can smell the success. We'll go for a little cheeky U-turn here. As long as we get into the water, we'll be golden. Let's give it a couple more pushes here. There we are. Looks like we're getting some distance. What happens if we put the rod down at this stage and just focus on piloting the boat? I'll carefully set it down right here. And let's take a seat. I think our rod is still with us. There we go. Now we are golden. We're not going to stray too far from the shore. I think somewhere just before the middle of this lake should be good to catch some fish. Now, I don't believe alligators are a problem in Finland, and this doesn't look like a swamp, but I always get a little bit uneasy when it comes to water, especially if it's deep water. Which we don't know if this is deep, but I'm not keen on finding out. Should be good enough. Let's cast our line in that direction. There we go. I can just barely see our line. Oh, I believe we've got something. Let's reel it in. Something seems to have went wrong here. Our line went over our head. But we'll keep reeling. We'll find out what happened in just a moment. It seems we were unlucky. We lost our catch. No worries though. There was a catch, and that's what matters. The line is cast. We'll see if that fish elects to come back to our little trap. We don't have the best of bait, but we also don't have an alternative. So we'll just hope for the best here. The sounds of water are very calming though. I wouldn't mind going on a boat trip like this either. Though my fishing skills are even worse than our characters here. You'll have to take my word on that. Any moment now. Probably should have taken some snacks on the way with us. But it's too late for that now. I think I hear some kind of noise, but our line is very calm, so I'm not going to reel it in just yet. We'll give it a minute and then maybe head back to shore, see what else we can play around with in our cottage. The issue of wasps, of course, is ever present, but I still haven't figured out a reliable way to deal with them, unfortunately. I don't think we're gonna catch anything at this rate. So let's reel it back in here. I cast it quite deep. Still going. We had a very long line on this rod. Do I see a fish there? I believe I do. Just a little bit closer. Come on, boy. You know you want this. Now we reel it in. Ah, we lost him. Well, I guess we count our losses and head back to shore, while holding the rod with the power of our mind. We raise it above our head as a sign of victory over the fish. Now, of course, it swam away from us, but our simple bait was enough to fool it into thinking that it was worth biting on. And in some ways, that's worth even more than an actual catch. Now, do we want to shore the boat? Or just leave it in the water? There's no current here, so I don't see it floating away. But just to be safe, I'll try my best to get it on shore here. We can leave our rod right here. It's not going anywhere. And give our boat a couple of pushes here. Oh, we actually cannot push it from here. Well, there is no current, so it should be safe on the shore here. Our poor character still hasn't actually had anything to eat, though I'm not sure how big of a concern that is. Very great to have this refreshing drink on the porcelain throne. An interesting spot for it, at least. Oh, there's a rat there. It didn't even want to steal our sausages. I'm honestly quite surprised. Alright. I do want to figure out the mystery of how we can cook some food, to be honest. Let's try the match meta one last time. Very unlucky with this match. Oh, we are under some kind of influence now. Some strong stuff. Stronger than anticipated. Maybe we should have our character go lie down for a while. That's if we manage to wake up, of course. This seems to be a very unpleasant case. We're actually finding it troublesome to even walk. Now that we've had a good night's sleep, we wake up at dusk as a productive member of society. Drinking that was most definitely a big mistake. Let's see if we can at least light a furnace. We need a victory of some kind, don't we? We peel some bark off it. Maybe that's needed here to really get a fire going. Let's see if I'm right about that. We'll peel off some bark. and throw it in the furnace. It didn't light on our barbecue station, but maybe we'll get it in the furnace. There's our matches. Can't really equip them though, for some reason. Oh, that's because we had bark in our hands. I failed to notice that. Let's get some matches out and see if this works. There we are. We just need to get a fire in here. It'll be a small victory, but a meaningful one, because we'll succeed in something at least. Let's try a new match. Any minute now. There we are. What if we take the bark while we're holding the match? No, it just disappears. What if we drop it in there? And that is fire. We've succeeded. Now then, morale is higher than ever. Let's try the same move on our bark here. Just need to line things up properly here. Maybe we're standing facing the wind. There we are. See if we get this. Not quite. Another attempt can't hurt. Were those skinwalkers? Probably not. Okay, what if we drop a match directly in there? No, that doesn't seem to do anything. Alright, let's forget the grill. There must be another way to get this done. Let me try to unequip our matches here. What kind of tool is this? Oh, it's a compact fishing rod. It would have been useful a little bit earlier. We'll store it inside the roof for now. Let's try pouring some oil on our sausages here. Unfortunately, our only option is drinking it though. Might as well go for it. See what happens. That's an entire tub of oil we drank. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to us after doing that. What sort of tool is this? How about we fill up? No, it's full. It's all good. Let's try to actually ride this thing again. There we go. Let's go for a drive. This thing is quite loud. And surprisingly fast too. We're looking for some kind of store, maybe. Maybe we're just lacking the necessary tools to do what we want here. There is some kind of... oh, that is a bus stop. I believe I see a car. We'll approach, see what they're about. Hello there. He doesn't seem to be interested in interacting with us. What if we go through his stuff? No, that doesn't do anything either. Alright then. Goodbye, neighbor. Not seeing anything useful in any direction. So we'll keep our eyes peeled as we head back. Let's see if crashing into him provokes a response. No, not quite. And we'll keep driving. I think the smoke billowing over there is from our furnace. I guess we'll get there and see. This isn't our place. Some kind of neighbor. Let's see if they want to talk to us. Hello, neighbor. Good day. Who are you? We're Seppo, and he is Kalevi. He wants a cig. We don't have one though. We'll wish them luck finding the accent. Oh, he actually had cigarettes. I wonder why he even asked us. Interesting. He also has a lighter. But we can't steal it from him. Alright. We'll take his drink and head out. Pull up our bike here. Nope, didn't mean to take out the engine. Turn this boy on. So the first time I tried riding this bike, it didn't work out because I missed the remove stand button. That seems to be what was getting in our way earlier. But now that we've solved that, the bike runs surprisingly well. We just need to find a way to get back to our cottage. We did pass this bus stop. I believe this left turn is where we need to go. And we had the perfect timing for going back home. Now that the wheat juice we took from our neighbor is kicking in. I think our stand is on. No, it's not. Alright, let's fix up our bike. Go for another can, maybe. Let's go for this one. Doesn't seem to work. So many bugs here. Alright, well, since it's getting dark, seems that it's time to head to bed. I think we'll sleep for 8 hours. Should take us to daytime. There we go. That's perfect. Let's see if this time around we find a way to deal with the wasps. Now I do have something in my hand here that I can't seem to get rid of. That's fine. What if we were to throw darts at the wasp nest? It's quite sharp. It could work. Let's go ahead and see. No, bounced right off one of the wasps. Must be a particularly strong species. What if we get closer and chuck it right at him? There we go. The nest is down. Doesn't really solve the problem, but certainly better than it was. they're keen on chasing us, but that's fine. Maybe a shovel will help us out. No, can't really interact with it. Let's try another dart. We did topple the wasp nest, and that's progress, but doesn't seem to deal with it. When they attack us through the wall, they actually can't, but doesn't do us any favors. Any spray we could use, maybe. Try the poisoning again. Not sure what the sprays are supposed to be for, because they don't actually spray any paint. Now they are immune to the spray can. Alright then, screw them. Let's see if we can cook a sausage on our furnace, since we did manage to get a fire going there. Just need to settle it very carefully. There we go. What are these supposed to be? Party Maca. I'm not quite sure. We'll leave it be. Oh, the sausage did cook, but unfortunately it overcooked. Let's pay closer attention and try one more. See how well that ends for us. There we go, it is cooking. I think I even see it happening. That's good enough. And let's eat. Well, we can feed ourselves. That problem is solved. Shame that the barbecue didn't work out, but can't really do anything about that. What if we pour the alcohol on the sausage and then set fire to that? Seeing as we don't have any proper lighter fluid, that could be helpful. Is it empty already? It's unlucky. Alright then. We'll try it once again. That is if I can do it without dropping the bottle, of course. There we go. Now we carefully position ourselves and pour. Right, that's good. Now where did we leave our matches? Could it be in this room? Yes, perfect. Let's see if that worked for us. Alcohol can start fires after all. So I'm not sure if the developer expected someone to do what we just did. I suppose we'll find out. Struggling with the match control here once again. No, it doesn't work. Alright. Honestly, this grill has been more trouble than it's worth. So how about we dispose of it? We'll see if we can pick it up here. Doesn't seem like we can. There we go. And just let the wasps deal with that. Speaking of which, there's no wasps. The sauna problem has solved itself. They seem to have dispersed. This a knife? Maybe we could open our charcoal bag here using that. No, it doesn't seem like we can use it. It's very unfortunate. Alright then, no matter. Maybe if we throw it at the bag. No, not quite. In that case, I think setting up the sauna and relaxing a bit is exactly what we need. And to that end, we should get started on chopping some wood. Because of course a sauna runs on wood. Set this thing down here, just so we can carry the logs in a more speedy fashion. Set the log down. See if we can chop it first try. Perfect. Right on to the next one. Oh, didn't quite get it this time, but it's alright. We'll try again. Oh, it's an unlucky log. We'll try the next. Not quite getting it. We'll place it perfectly and take a few steps back. There we go. The stump wasn't even necessary. We're that good at chopping wood. Unless, of course, we're talking about that particular piece of wood. A very unruly one, to say the least. We're working with 2 logs, but maybe that'll be enough. It's all the room we had, unfortunately. Let's get this here. Now we'll also need water. And I think the dirty one from the lake here will be good enough. So we'll set down our bucket somewhere here. Without spilling it, hopefully. There we go. And now we need to get a fire going. I'll definitely try to get some bark in there, as it did seem to make an impact. So we'll rip out some bark and throw it on top of the logs here. There we go. I'm very confident about this working. There we are. Now to find our matches. If you've never been to a sauna, I greatly recommend trying it out. It's a very relaxing experience. The heat does take some getting used to, but of course that's the point. Every time I chuck my matches somewhere, it takes me a good minute to remember where exactly I threw them, which really makes me wish there was an inventory system here. Something like matches shouldn't be difficult to carry. We need to empty the ash holder. I think I saw a tool that would be right for that job. In this shed here, it was a red thing, like this. Looks like it could hold some ash in it. Let's see if that works. Well, not quite. More damn bugs. So many of them. What if we don't mind the ash being in there? Get this lit. Of course, it takes a moment every time. How about a new match? Couple more hits should do it. Really need to pray to every Finnish god for this to work. There we are. He says maybe I should empty the ash holder. Alright. Our character really wants to empty the ash holder, apparently. We'll figure out where that is and how we're supposed to do that. I did see an equip thing here. There we are. Let's empty this out and stick it back in. Now, our sauna should work like a charm. Let's see here. Get a light on this. I think we did succeed in a fire going. Let's close the door here. I think it's working. We'll let our sauna heat up for a moment and then splash some coal, or rather water, on the coals. Pardon me. Not quite the right spot. Let's position ourselves closer. Don't believe that did anything. Let's try again. We splashed quite a lot, so I assume it must have worked. Although the thermometer isn't showing anything. Let's fill up our water bucket. I'm sure we'll need it. There we are. Back to our sauna. I'll set down the water bucket right here for the time being, and we'll let the furnace do its job. Maybe feeding a few more logs to it will do the trick. Let's bring a whole barrow's worth. I'm certain that'll be enough for our goals. Very clunky controls there, but we managed to figure it out. Now, where did we leave our axe? I think it was in the sauna. The fire is still going, but the temperature isn't rising for whatever reason. It's not a problem though, we'll just keep working on getting more logs into the fire. Maybe that's the issue. Perfect. Put these into our little wheelbarrow here. I do wonder if it's possible to run out of logs. I hope not. Chopping down a tree is definitely much more tedious than working the logs. Although tedium has been a rather big part of Finnish Cottage Simulator so far. Not that I mind it, of course. In a way, that's the point. What my character really wants now is a relaxing evening in the sauna. We have gotten much better at chopping the logs, though. I feel like this should be more than enough. So we'll haul it over to our sauna and fill everything up. I'll leave the wheelbarrow on the outside, just so it doesn't get too crowded in the sauna room. But we'll feed a couple more logs in here, should get the sauna nice and hot. There we are. And just like that, bit by bit, we'll fill up our furnace and have a very, very hot and relaxing sauna going. Has it gotten any hotter? No, unfortunately, not quite. It might be due to the relatively small amount of logs that we've brought in. Or maybe the door being open played a part. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's hit another match, just in case we are smothering the flame with all of this new fuel. I hope that went in. We'll close the door and pour just a bit of water on the coals. Think we got it? At least a few drops must have made it. Let me try to set this bucket down without dropping it. It's proving to be quite a challenge, but we managed it. There we go. I like that sound. It must be working now. Oh, I've made a mistake. We should have been using this ladle to add water to the coals. There we go. That's much better. Doesn't seem to be getting hotter yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. Doesn't seem to be moving quite yet, but based on the noise, everything is working as intended. We'll just keep throwing water on the coals. Of course, you can't have too much water. But I wonder why dumping the bucket wasn't working earlier. It's what I used to do when I was in a sauna, because I didn't have such a handy tool like a ladle. I now realize that using one would have made things much, much simpler. Put this bucket back where it belongs. Very carefully now. Perfect. Soon enough, it'll start getting hotter, I'm sure. We just need to keep pouring more water onto the coals. Whipping ourselves here. Close the doors and just keep pouring water on the coals. Eventually it should get hotter. Bit of a process here, but we'll manage. Just dump the entire bucket's worth onto these coals. That must get them hotter. Really get into the flow of things here. So far, I'll admit, chopping up the wood for our sauna has been the most fun part of the experience. It is getting hotter in here. We're up to 40 degrees, but that's still not enough for a proper Finnish sauna, of course. Those get very, very hot. There we are. Success. The sauna is working. The heat is rising. Let's see how long our boy Sespo can handle it. We'll get the whip here. I believe the point of these is they're good for the skin. Entering the sauna fully clothed might have been a mistake, but no matter. The only thing we're missing now is a health concern. Though that's never stopped our boy Sespo. Look at the steam or the smoke billowing out. It's a sign that everything is working exactly as intended. Beautiful. What are we looking at? 60, 70 degrees almost. We're approaching my actual limit for heat tolerance. There we go. Now let's see just how much our character can take. I assume he would start passing out at around 90. We'll add some more water here. I think the bucket's full. Looks full to me. Let's get back to business. I'll lay down the bucket in its usual spot. Pick up our ladle here. And just work on adding more and more water onto the coal. See, this is what produces the steam and makes the sauna get hotter. We're climbing past 80 degrees Celsius now. The relaxing sauna is, or rather has been over for a long time. I believe at 90 degrees Celsius it's closer to just uncomfortable. Though since we're Finnish, we're probably just getting started at this heat. We're past 100 degrees. I do wonder if we can get to the maximum here. There's an entire bucket's full of water. And that puts us at 100 degrees. I don't think it'll be able to climb any higher. Alright then. That was the sauna. We did neglect the view here. Honestly though, I wouldn't mind sitting in a sauna with a view like this. It's quite nice, really. I think another go at the sausages would be nice. We'll leave the sauna going, I'm sure. Nothing will burn down. It's quite loud. We can be a little bit more careful here. I must have been doing something wrong here and desperate to get this thing working. Just because I doubt it's as difficult as it's been for me. Rather, I doubt it's actually that difficult, in other words. What if it's the logs that we needed and not the bark? No reason not to try it. Let's see if it fits in. Not quite. What if we play around with it? Turn it around. There we are. Slotting some bark in there is useful too. That's perfect. Let's grab our matches from the sauna. Oh, it's steamy in here. The temperature is slowly dropping, so probably no fire hazard here. Let's see if we can get this working. No, the match is put out instantly. What if I drop it down here? This seems to do something. No, the fire goes out instantly. Maybe we can take off this part here. Don't believe so, though. Doesn't seem like it. We'll try them. No, that doesn't really work. That's unfortunate. In that case, all that's left is another fishing trip. Although this time, we'll come prepared. More prepared than ever before. Make sure we have this and our trusty fishing rod. And we just climb in. Pushing the boat actually seems much faster than rowing. So with the sheer willpower and telekinetic force, we'll push ourselves all the way to roundabout the middle of this little lake. That seemed to be the perfect spot earlier when we did encounter a fish. There's the smoke billowing out of our sauna, which is of course an indicator that everything was working. Our rowing is actually very, very slow now after our method. Let's keep pushing. We're picking up some speed, I think. I do see some houses on the other side of this lake that might be more neighbors that we could potentially interact with. Although at this point I wouldn't want to interact with our character either. Seems like an unhinged man you cannot trust. Great cast right there. Now we sit and wait. I think when we gave it a couple of reels, that's when the fish appeared. Let's see if that works out for us again. I'll gently tug the reel. Hopefully our bait will look like a small and swimming fish. Just very gently tug at it. Did we manage to get anything? I don't think so, but we cast our line quite deep. Might be good to reel it back in just a bit. Oh, we got something. I think it got away. Yes, that was unfortunate. But we do know that something we're doing is working out. Is our bait gone? No, I think that's it. We're fine. Let's not cast it that deep. I think I see a fish swimming closer to it. Oh no, that is our bait, most likely. What if we keep it somewhere around here just so we can physically see any fish that may be approaching? Would that work out? If you couldn't tell, I've never actually fished. I've gone on fishing trips at one point in my life, but I wasn't the one holding the rod, so I didn't bear witness to the actual catch. Give it a couple more gentle tugs here. No, we didn't get anything. Let's try this side. It's actually quite a cool little animation. If we pull on our rod, we can physically see the bait. Just a waiting game at this point. I'm confident that before the sun sets, we'll see at least one fish being caught. But now that I actually look at the sun, that confidence is slowly slipping. Where did our fishing rod go? I think something went wrong here. Alright. Well, in that case, we'll set down our rod. Maybe we'll passively catch something here. And while that's going, we'll just chuck down a couple of these wheat sodas. There actually is a fish. No, that is a bottle. That is not a fish. Very improper of our character there. Burping like that. Alright, we'll stop. We're really forcing it out of him, to be fair. Let's make our way back. I think we'll have to push it this time though. The boat isn't actually moving. Yeah, it's not really working with us here. Maybe because the rod is in the way. We'll equip it. A very bad time to be influenced. Yeah, it seems unfortunately we're completely stuck here. I can push us to the side though. Whatever good that does. We'll have to drop the rod here. Maybe it's the weight of all the stuff in our boat that's not letting us swim. Apparently so. What is that noise? Is that the fishing rod? Alright, well, we're free now. So let's get back to shore. I know that littering is bad. I'm sure Cespo will come back and pick all of this stuff up later. It's his cottage, after all. He'll take care of it, I'm sure. It is quite peaceful here, as the sun is setting, seeing the surface of the lake. I'm a fan of the atmosphere here, but unfortunately the clunky controls weren't something I enjoyed in Finnish Cottage Simulator. Let's check on our sauna. I wonder if it got any cooler during the time we spent fishing. I'll try my best to park the boat properly. And let's check the degrees. I'd say it went down to at least 80 in all this time. Oh, 60. Great. I suppose the only course of action now that it's getting darker is to hit the hay, so to speak. And this has been Finnish Cottage Simulator, a game with a lot of potential, but the controls are much clunkier than I had hoped for, and there really isn't any onboarding to speak of. But overall, the atmosphere and the silly things you can do here more than make up for it. Thank you for joining me here today, and I'd like to wish you a good night and remind you to stay safe.